Are you a fan of pro wrestling, comedy, and combat sports? Then we have the podcast for you because we cover that and much, much more.
Do you like to debate with your friends? Do we have the perfect segment for you? It's the 531, where we take any given subject, break it down to a top 5. From there, we debate it down to 3, and then into that number 1 spot.
If you want to get a hold of us, find us on our social medias. Search Working Fans Podcast on any major social media platform. And if you want to find the podcast, search for us on any major podcast platform, as well as YouTube.
Working Fans Podcast. We put in the work so you don't have to.
Are you a fan of horror movies? Because if you are, I assume that's why you're watching this. Welcome back to Working Fans Presents episode 27, the Conjuring review. And I've said it before, this is probably one of my favorite modern horror movies. Let me get this clipped up over here. And this movie is 1 hour and 52 minutes, directed by James Wan. Came out in 2013, got an R rating. It had a $20 million budget and on opening weekend made $41,855,326. And that opening weekend being July 21st, 2013. The gross in US and Canada was $137,446,368. The gross worldwide was $320,406,242. Now, in this movie, in 1971, Carolyn and Roger Perron moved their family into a dilapidated Rhode Island farmhouse, and soon strange things start happening around it with escalating nightmarish terror. In desperation, Carolyn contacts the noted paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren to examine the house. What the Warrens discover is a whole area steeped in a satanic haunting that is now targeting the Perron family wherever they go. To stop this evil, the Warrens will have to call upon their skills and spiritual strength to defeat the spectral something at its source that threatens to destroy everyone involved. Now, you know this is real professional when I can't read my own handwriting. I guess we'll put that up there with Dave not being able to pronounce some things, but major actors in this film. Patrick Wilson stars as Ed Warren. Vera Farmiga stars as Lorraine Warren. Ron Livingston is Roger Perron. Lily Taylor is Carolyn Perron. Shanley Caswell is Andrea. Haley McFarland is Nancy. Joey King is Christine. Mackenzie Fike is Cindy. Kyle Deaver is April. Shannon Kook is Drew. John Brotherton is Bad. Sterling Gerrans is Judy Warren. Miriam Gugat is Georgiana. And I'm going to let you go to IMDb to check out the rest of that cast, because I definitely butchered some of those names. But what I'm not going to butcher is my thoughts on this movie. When this movie came out, I loved it. From the opening, like, they do the kind of the cold open, and then you get the words that scroll on the screen to a proper Conjuring title screen. That won me over there. And then the rest of the movie, it's just so creepy. It's one of my modern favorites, like I said. And when they end it with the photos of the real people versus the people in the movie, I like that as like an ending sequence. IMDb gave this a 7.5 out of 10. And I'm going to give you those mid-show reads. We are brought to you by the Pro Wrestling Vault, Volume 1, and Lance by Chance, written by Vinnie Berry, available at WrestleVille.com. And all of the following things I'm going to list here are available on Amazon.com, including Super Vows and Pas de Deux, written by a friend of the show, Kevin Kelton. I'll Be Here All Week and All That's Left, written by a friend of the show, Ward Anderson, as well as his stand-up special. Blood and Fire, the unbelievable real-life story of wrestling's original Sheik, written by Brian R. Solomon. How Not to Suck at Comedy, written by Pat Oates. Matt Memories, written by John Arezzi and Greg Oliver. And if you're an artist in Connecticut looking for studio time, check out the great people over at Connecticut People Records. And if you're on YouTube and you're looking for something to check out our wrestling commentary home of New Heights Wrestling, where Dave and I call some of the finest independent wrestling coming out of Florida right now. Now we're going to end this show, as we always do, with some fun facts about the movie. And I'd like to think that you guys tune in for the facts, if not anything else. I don't give super in-depth reviews. I'll give you a breakdown on budget, general idea of the movie, who starred in it sometimes. Sometimes I butcher those names. But mainly, I just want to tell you like what I thought about the movie. Did I enjoy it? Did I not like it? Highly recommend The Conjuring. Now, 8 generations of families lived and died in the house before the parents moved in. Andrea parents suggested that some of the spirits from the families never left. Deaths included 2 documented suicides, a poisoning, the rape and murder of an 11-year-old girl, 2 drownings, and 4 men who froze to death. Most deaths occurred within the Arnold family, from which Bathsheba Sherman was descended. Now, the film was shot in chronological order. The film contains no sex or nudity, little profanity, lame and mostly bloodless violence, and brief depictions of alcohol and no smoking, yet it received an R rating. This was solely for its scare factor alone. Now, Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga both traveled to Connecticut to meet Lorraine Warren. Ed and Lorraine Warren investigated the parents' Rhode Island farmhouse in 1973 and 1974. In the original case, Ed and Lorraine Warren were kicked out of the house as they were not able to help the parents. And let me see which. I'm going to save one of these for our shorts. Which, if you haven't been checking out our shorts on YouTube, check them out. AJ is doing 31 Halloween facts for 31 days, as I'm doing 31 movies for 31 days. Now, director James Wan modeled the film's cinematography and atmosphere after vintage 1970s horror films. In the original case, I already read that one. The Conjuring had the working title of The Warren Files, since it's the first movie in this series to depict cases that the Warrens worked on, and they'd become the center of all the Conjuring movies. The crew of the film built the set of the parents' home nearly exactly like the real home. And our last fact of the day for you, the same 3 notes played on the piano from this movie can also be found in a movie called The Creeping Flesh from 1973. Now, let us know in the comments, what horror movies are you watching? Is there a horror movie you want to see us cover? Did we miss a horror fact? Did we misstate a horror fact? Like, rate, review, subscribe wherever you can. Hit us with that notification bell. And just comment. Let us know how you're liking it. Share it with some friends. Let them know that this final week of October, we got The Conjuring 2 for you. Tomorrow, the 25th. Wednesday, the 26th, The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. Thursday, the 27th, Dracula. Friday, the 28th, Frankenstein. Saturday, the 29th, Wolfman. Sunday, the 30th, we are getting back to that 70s horror with the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And what do we have planned for you on Halloween? You're going to have to tune in a week from today to find out. So thank you for joining us. And we can't wait to see you tomorrow to discuss the sequel to this movie. Did we like it better than the original?